We are live at Studio B. This is your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I am Spencer Linton alongside Jerem Jordan. And as we promised all of you, now joining us in the Cougar Council room is the BYU football head coach, Kalani Sitake. Back on the show. Training camp is officially in the books as you turn preparation out of Portland State. But as you look at training camp this year, Kalani, from what we could tell, seemed like it was pretty physical. How did it compare in that facet to years previous?
Yeah, I thought we probably did more 11 on 11, and we do that a lot, but more this year than we have in any other year that I've been here. I think the main reason is to see how the quarterbacks respond and react to game type situations, and some of it were live. The quarterbacks were never live, but we got mad at the guys that got close to them, but that's going to be another something else that we have to evaluate. But I have a feeling that our quarterbacks can handle the live stuff pretty good. I mean, they're all athletic. The one thing I feel really good about the end of camp is that all our quarterbacks can play, and that gives me I've been impressed with every one of them, and from 1 to 5, I feel good about all of them, and I thought they all made a jump in improvement and progressed towards where I want to see them. I hope we don't use them all, you know what I mean? But the game is physical, and it can be violent at times, and injuries are part of it, so depth is a key. We feel really good about the depth, but more than anything, we feel good about the way it kind of played out and the system that we put in place to allow them to prove it on the field.
You've got a hungry, experienced team. What did you want to accomplish, and then what did you do in training camp that you felt good about?
Yeah, I think we looked at the science of everything, and if you look at the data, the analytics that Dr. Main and Phyllis and the rest of our strength and conditioning staff have done, we've made a lot of improvements, and that's each person along the way. But then the camp, we wanted to push their limits a little bit, and so we told them yesterday, your legs aren't supposed to feel good right now. And but we're able to really function when we're tired, and you can see legs are weary, but the guys are actually playing at a high level, executing at a high level. It wasn't mistake-free, but imagine how it could be when their legs are going to be fresh next week. And we told them that part of recovery is part of your training too, so to recover. And they have today off. I mean, we're lifting, so it's not really any days off except for Sunday. But the guys mentally are getting themselves ready, and then physically we'll be ready to roll by the time we hit practice tomorrow and get an early start. So we'll practice Thursday, Friday, Saturday, have Sunday off, and then we just work towards our regular week. And so I feel really good about where we're at right now and what we've done in camp. We got some guys banged up, but that we knew that was going to happen at times. It's a violent sport, but we should get those guys back, and we'll see how it all goes.
Bear Bachmeier will become the 7th true freshman starting quarterback in BYU football history, but the first to start game number 1 of a season. As you assessed the quarterback battle, what were the clear indicators that you feel allowed him to create separation from the others and win the job?
I think from the beginning, when he first signed with us, there was a sense of urgency for him to learn the entire offense, and that's when he assumed that he'd be in a backup role and fighting for a backup spot. We wanted to learn as much as he could, but that never changed. From day one, and even when the situation changed and now he's battling for a starting spot, that's always been there since day one. It wasn't all of a sudden he turned it up a little bit more because the opportunity that came forth. He's always been the same way from the beginning, and been, A-Rod and I and the entire team been really impressed with how easy it was for him to grasp the offense. I mean, he's still young. Well, he's still a freshman, but a true freshman. But to have someone that has that focus on football and that demand on the offense is impressive. I haven't been around it myself. I mean, we've seen guys like Zach Wilson that have come in here as true freshmen, had a spring and still had to work through some things. But I mean, I don't want to make any statements. Let's just find out in game day. And the benefit that we have is we get to see it every day. And so when we announced it was kind of like that was the general feeling that the whole building had anyways. It wasn't like this was basically he was given a crowning moment. It was like, I think eventually the guys can see that he here on the spot. And I say that with McKay and Trayson and Emerson and Cole, all those guys getting better too. So it elevated the whole room, the competition did. And I couldn't be happier with what we have. We're better and deeper in the quarterback room than we were. 2 months ago, and I feel really comfortable going into the game with a lot of different guys.
Describe to us what it was like for him to try and win this job going up against your defense, because your defense is really good. And there are times where maybe it's frustrating for the offense or whatnot, and they made plays. The defense makes plays. But frankly, in fall camp, this defense should have made a lot of plays against the offense, right? They got to have a lot of experience.
And they did. And when you have new bodies, usually, even if everybody was coming back, the defense would be further ahead. Easier to install a defense than offense. I mean, if you look at a defense, 2, 3, 4 guys could do the wrong thing and they still get the play done. And it looks like a brilliant play. On offense, that cannot happen. You need everybody. You might get away with 1 or 2 guys maybe not doing their job to the fullest, but all 11 have to be clicking. And that takes some time. Sometimes you try to do as much as you can in the summer with PRPs and things like that, and the timing with the routes and all that. But get it to be cohesive and together, it takes time. So you can't expect it to be done in 1 week. So the first scrimmage, we knew there was going to be some problems. The defense was going to get further ahead, but the offense quickly made up the difference. And I think our last scrimmage and the last moments in live has been more back and forth, which is what you want to see. But I'm excited to see now us focus on an opponent. They're sick of playing each other. That's why we took the camping trip, because I think if we didn't, these guys would have beaten each other up. And we didn't need that. But they're just getting sick of playing each other, and because we did that quite a bit. And I thought they handled themselves the right way, and I think everybody's handling the competition. We just talked to a team meeting today that, the depth charts are coming out, and people are going to be sent to scout team, things like that. And there's guys that are playing in the NFL that played scout team 2 or 3 years. So that's not a knock. Everybody, the program moves together. The great thing we have is we have a lot of guys that can play. We have tons of guys that can play, and we feel good about their talent and even their abilities getting on the field, even if they're young. But the problem is only 11 can play at a time. So we feel really good about the number of players that we have. 11 can play at a time, and let's just focus on those 11. And the fact that we have more than 11 that can play on offense, defense, and special teams means that we can do some really cool things as well with different personnel packages and different type of plays.
Kalani Sitake, the BYU football head coach, is on BYU Sports Nation. A quick hitter before I ask you a more in-depth question. Are you a camper? Are you a guy that enjoys doing that?
No, I don't even like glamping. So I'd rather just be at home. But and where we were at it's a Heber Valley camp. It's like there's no service. So I kind of like being disconnected from everything. I mean, there's a guy that was running around our facility, and he was going to keep running. I mean, I was on social media. I guess he was going to keep running until I came out to see him. But we were out camping. And none of us even knew about it. So
what?
He came to practice yesterday.
Oh, the I believe in you?
Yeah, so we invited him to come back. And
gotcha.
was like,
Okay.
Hey, dude, you got to make sure that we're in the building before you start doing that. But anyways, it was good to be disconnected from everything. It's good for the guys to hang out together and to do something other than just football. We did the faith walk up there. It was a really cool experience.
I've heard that's a great.
Yeah, it was awesome. And you don't have to be a member of the church to connect with your spiritual side, and having the guys just disconnect a little bit from football. I mean, they're always going to talk about it, but it was kind of nice to just take a break and get them at the lake and hang out. And then we were right back at it on Thursday night. So the guys did a great job handling it all. I feel really good about where we're at. Just going to see what happens when it comes Saturday night.
Okay, Kalani, not the glamper, but that's an extended conversation for another day. Back to the in-depth training camps situation. I just am interested to know what type of temperament and leadership role a guy like Bear Bachmeier brings to the field, because we haven't seen him like you have day in and day out of practice. So what is he like in those aspects?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't act like a regular freshman. I mean, I think when you're playing that quarterback position, you have to have, I mean, you're the voice that echoes the play to the team. So you have to have a certain presence about you, and you can see it. You guys have been around him. You can see it on him. But I also just want him to be himself and not feel like he has to be anybody else. And he can just be who he is and be the best version of himself, and that's going to be good enough. I also don't expect him to get out there and be the rah-rah guy like Batty was for us last year. I think Keanu can handle that, and Chase Roberts can handle that stuff. But the quarterback, I think his example and the things that he cares about, his work ethic, that's enough of an example that he can be as a leader for us. He'll get more comfortable in the role, and when that happens, you'll start to see it. But I think your quarterback, you have to have a little bit of a voice, and you have to have a different presence about you. And I think he and the other quarterbacks in the room have that.
Since 2000, 4 true freshman quarterbacks have led their teams to 10 or more wins. It is difficult. Yet you've said, hey, this kid's pretty good. What do you feel like he and this team can do? Because we've talked about it. The formula for this team isn't to have the quarterback go nuts and win the game. It is a team. So how do you feel about what you've got going into the season led by a true freshman quarterback?
Well, I feel like we don't have to rely on one thing. We have a lot of things that we can do. It helps to have veteran receivers, and then in the rotation you have really quality receivers that have a lot of talent and speed. Helps to have tight ends that are veterans as well, and that are physical and they can block. And then you have an O-line that we have more than 5 guys that can start, and the versatility that they have, the flexibility that TJ Woods has done with that room is amazing. I mean, TJ has guys playing, they can play different positions, not just one, which gives you a lot of really cool things that you can do offensively, and there's a lot of moving parts. So we have more than 5 that can start. We also feel comfortable with more than 10 that can play. So that's a huge compliment, and I'm saying TJ Woods has done a great job with A-Rod and that whole staff, and then it helps that you have LJ Martin back as a running back, and then backed by Sione, and in the rotation we have a bunch of guys that can play. So that helps, and then it also helps that you have a defense that's flying around and well coached, and they're starting to really understand the scheme. There's not a lot of miscommunication between Jay Hill's expectations and the defense, and it's starting to really click. I mean, it's going to be really fun to watch. And then it helps also that you have special team veterans, whether it's your punter or your kicker or your snapper. There's a lot of guys that have tons of experience there. So I think all that can rally the team around Bear, and even the young guys that are playing different spots. And we don't expect them to do everything, but when their moment comes, we want them to shine. And so they're capable of doing all that stuff that you just mentioned. I just don't think that we have to lean on it. If only one thing is that we can throw the ball and that's it, then we're in trouble. We got to be able to do everything, and we got to be great in all 3 phases.
BYU football head coach Kalani Sitake is on BYU Sports Nation. From the Journal of Captain Obvious, you had a really good team last year. So when you look at this year's roster, where do you feel like you could maybe be even better in at least some aspects of the game than you were with last year's squad?
Well, I hate comparing year to year. I'd rather just look at what I think our potential can be as a team. I'd like to see us, create our identity and then have it show in the games. And I think sometimes you get yourself in trouble when you make statements. I'm trying to make a statement. I'd rather just have the team do it on the field.
They don't know, but they're about to find out. Is that what you'd say?
Well, I mean, that's all of us, right? But I think we know a little bit more. I mean, last year I remember talking to you guys and feeling pretty good about it. I feel pretty good about it too. So the thing is, I can't control is I don't know what the opponents are doing. I can only control what we do. But what I want to do is play at our best 12 times so we can create more opportunities for our team and then for our fans. So I know that there's a lot of excitement just for this game. I mean, you can hear the veterans talking to the newcomers like, hey, when you get into LaVell Edwards Stadium, that's going to be something special, and you're going to love it. It's going to get the most out of you. And so they're even talking to Bear about it, and we got a little taste of it when we had the Cougar Club members watch practice after the camp out, and that practice was a lot of juice and energy, and that's just with a few thousand that were there. Imagine when that place is packed and the rock is rolling and everything's going. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I just want the guys to work hard, and then we gotta party and have a good time when game time shows up.
It feels like this is like a pivotal time in BYU football history. I say that because it's year 3 of being in the Big 12. You had an unbelievable year last year. The recruiting is incredible for the 26 team. Talk to me about what's going on with BYU football right now and where it's headed, because it feels like it's in an unbelievable direction.
Well, I think we've been able to capitalize on a lot of opportunities that have come our way. The Big 12 conference obviously is a major one, but it's also the investment, the intention of what we're trying to do as a program. And for us, it's not just about football. I mean, I'm focused on what our guys can do, but it's got to be more than just what they do on the field. And we're not perfect, but man, I love who they are, and they're perfect to me. The players and the team is, and the fans are too. The fans aren't perfect, but they are to me, and they are to our team. So
even if they're circling your camp, trying to get your attention, right?
Well, it's like everything that they do, it doesn't really matter. They're interested. What we can do is turn their frustrations and the cheers, and they're, you know, if we're doing our part, everybody's cheering, and it's super special when they're all cheering and smiling, and there's nothing like it from that perspective on the field, and you're seeing it up. There's nothing like it.
If you haven't noticed, it feels like everybody has an opinion on why this rise is happening within BYU athletics and what goes into it. But you have been very, very forthright about the mission that BYU football plays, not just in athletics, but for the mission of the school and the mission of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. How do you feel like those relationships are being displayed and portrayed right now as we push into the future?
Yeah, well, our mission is always going to be aligned. As a football team, it's going to be aligned with the university and with BYU and the mission of the university, and then it's going to be aligned with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so even though we're in different times now than we've ever been before, with transfer portal and how it is, and NIL, and now with rev share and what's going on with being able to pay student athletes, not just football players, but student athletes altogether. So we're in the mix. I mean, that's when we have rules and we have laws that are given to us by the NCAA or by the university, we follow them, but we're going to make the best out of it. And so, but our focus will always be on what we think makes us different, makes us unique. Our focus will be on being disciples of Christ. And that doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It just means your intent and what you're trying to be focused on is there. And so as we're allowed to do these things with NIL and with rev share, things like that, we still want guys that fit the program, fit the culture and the mission of the school, the program, football program, and the church. And so as we do that, I feel really good about where the team's going and how we're doing that. Like, again, I say it over and over again, we're going to do what we think is right, and we're going to do our best, but I don't think people should expect us to be perfect at it, but we're pretty close.
You know what we missed at the beginning of this?
What's that?
We didn't introduce him with his new title. Senior Associate Athletic Director Kalani Sitake.
My apologies, Kalani.
Hey, I've been given a lot of other titles unofficially that, you know. No, I mean, thank you. But
Congrats on it. Yeah,
thank you. I mean, I love this place, and I love who we get to work with. I'm excited to work, you know, under the leadership of Brian Santiago as our athletic director, and Keith Warkinkler as a vice president, and definitely with President Reese. You know, it's a really cool thing, and I'm just happy to be involved. But I'm still the same old me. Before I was a senior associate athletic director and a head coach and a former player for Lavelle. Always been a fan. The fan is always going to be there.
But he's not a camper, folks.
But he's not.
No, sorry.
I agree with that part.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
We had food catered up to us and stuff like that, so I didn't have to.
That ain't camping.
No, but yeah. So I guess we weren't really camping that. But I'm sorry. I don't want to sit in the tent and.
Hey, it was cool for Lehigh, not for me.
I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, there's a reason why I wasn't born at that time and where I had to do. Look, guys, well, I feel like we're mocking people that had to do that.
No, I appreciate their sacrifice so that we could stay in our house.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you for understanding.
Yeah,
100%.
This is not a knock on people that love the camp.
That's great.
Go do it.
Don't invite them.
I also don't run marathons. Don't be mad at me about that either. You know. So
He's a sprinter.
We all have our own things that we like.
Yeah. So I'd rather walk and not run unless it's a BYU football game.
Run and not be wary. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have differences, but we can at least appreciate it. That's not my style. Glamping, there's nothing, I don't know. It's just like, I just don't feel good about it. If I'm paying for housing somewhere, I'd rather just stay there.
Amen.
Amen to that. Kalani, great to have you.
Kalani.
Thanks so much.
You guys are awesome.
Hey, the season premiere of BYU football with Kalani Sitake. If you like that interview, there's a whole hour. Coming up next week, the season debut. It's on Tuesday, August 26th at 8:30 Eastern on the BYUtv app. No pressure, Kalani. That's Gregor Bell's birthday and wedding anniversary next Tuesday.
Whoa.
He did it all in one day?
All in one day.